it's a couple of days after the race. Let's get into how things unfolded. As you've probably guessed from the title of this video, I did manage to secure a top 5 at UTMB's Arc of Attrition 25-mile race, which was a couple of days ago now. Overall, I'm really chuffed with how things have gone because I haven't really raced for a whole year, so to come back and get a top 5 is still pretty good, and it gives me something to really build on for the rest of this year. But let's get into how the race went. So the race started from a place called Hellesford Farm, which is just outside of St Ives. I was part of the Wave 1 start, which is generally where the faster athletes are at, and that started about 11:30, and there were some seriously fast guys in the field. And as expected, the second the gun went off, they went off at a pretty fast and furious pace. So as anticipated, the top 5 runners went off at a blistering pace, and about 3 of us contemplated to go with them. We sort of sat slightly back just to see how things would unfold. So from the get-go, my lungs were pretty much on fire, and I couldn't really tell whether it was to do with a cold or just the effort level that was going in, but they were burning quite bad. More than probably anything else, that was my main issue for the race. So the first few miles, I just generally sat back. I was in about 8th position until about, I think it was about mile 4, and I caught up to the French guy who was in 7th. He just kept slipping over all the place. I couldn't really tell what he was in, but I decided it was better to get past him than sit behind him. So probably for the next few miles until about, it was about mile 6 or 7. And then I managed to catch up with the guy, there's a Swiss guy who was in 6th place along one of the flatter sections as he came out of St Ives. So I passed him, and by that point I was pretty much anticipating quite a lonely race from there on, because I thought the top 5 were going to be long gone. And I was more having an issue with my lungs, just really struggling to put anything above. I could probably hit 75% maybe of like max effort, and I was just didn't really have anything there. But I pressed on mile 8 when I went past my girlfriend Kelly at this station, and obviously, as you can tell, I was in very high spirits at this point, and she was taking everything I said in.
Go on, Jack! Well done, mate, you got this.
My lungs are not good.
Are they not good? It's all right.
But after that, I did manage to sort of get myself together a bit. I managed to find myself in a nice little groove, and I was clipping along nicely from about mile 10 onwards. And then just as we came around the halfway point, and we're coming through something that was known as the Dunes of Doom. I started for what I thought I could see was the guy in 5th, but I couldn't tell whether it was because we were catching a lot of the 100-mile runners at this point as well. So it was difficult to tell whether I was actually catching somebody or whether I was just having some illusion where I was imagining it. Every sand dune you go up, I think, oh, I'm catching him, and I go down and I can't see him again. It wouldn't seem like I was gaining him at all, but I felt like that gave me a little boost to sort of put a bit more pace in, and I was really gunning for trying to get that top 5. So as we made our way to the aid station at Goodravy, we were pretty much neck and neck. So I elected to go straight through the aid station. I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to put a bit of time in it and see if he'd follow suit. Luckily for me, I managed to sort of break the back of him through that section, because the next sort of 6-7 miles were pretty much runnable stuff, which suits me a lot more than the Cornish Coast Path sort of sheer ups and sheer downs, because that was what I was more struggling with throughout the day. And to be honest with you, I felt pretty good up until about mile 20, 21. I had a really difficult mile at 22, but that is when we started to encounter the absolute staircases from hell that I've never seen. It was just miles of just going up stairs, and then you go down it, and then you run on the flat bit, and you think that's great, we're going to get into a nice little rhythm, and then we go up, and then we go down, and then it was just a never-ending cycle of stairs, which were really sort of taking my toll on my legs a bit at this point, because I couldn't really find myself in a rhythm. And living here in the South Downs, it's nice, runnable, long climbs. And the Cornish Coast Path, there's loads of stairs and short, sharp climbs that go straight up and straight down, where I'm used to a lot more runnable, longer climbs, where you can kind of find yourself in a nice little rhythm and a groove. But I couldn't really get myself into that at that point, and my legs were beginning to suffer a bit. It wasn't too bad, but I was just quite fatigued by this point anyway. The more runnable section, I had been told I'd gained slightly on the top, the couple of guys ahead of me, but once we hit the stairs section, I was pretty gone, to be honest with you. My legs didn't really enjoy the transition of the short sharpness and then going on a flat bit, but probably the last 3 or 4 miles is pretty much straight up and straight down stairs, straight up, straight down stairs. But it's an absolute whopper of a climb to the finish. It's the longest climb, I think, in the whole race, which is exactly what I needed at that point, as you can imagine.
Go on, Jack!
How's Jack? Well done, Jack.
Hello, buddy. How are you? How was that?
Steve,
No, it isn't. No. But yeah, I managed to come home and secure 5th place, which was really, really good for me. It's a good confidence booster. And it did mean I did achieve my B goal before the race, which I thought was probably a slightly over-optimistic goal, being given that I was ranked 9th place. So to get 5th is a bit of an improvement on that. I think my live trail app recommended I'd finish in about 3 hours 6, so I finished in just under 2:58, I think, or just around that sort of time, which is really good as well because I managed to get on another UTMB podium, and I got a recycled Cornish plastic trophy, and that's the Arc of Attrition 25 medal, which everybody who finished got. Hopefully that's going to be a really good omen for things to come because it's a really positive start to the year given it's January. I've not done anything for a whole year with everything that's gone on, so I'm really hoping that this year is going to be the year where we'll be able to really take our performances to the next level. But as always, thanks for watching everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Down, down.